Hi, it is now day 3 of the Freebie Bootcamp, and I'm just going to wait a little while to see if anybody hops on. So yesterday we talked about idea validation. I'm just going to invite a couple of people. So yesterday we talked about idea validation. Not idea validation, that is part of what we're going to talk about today. We talked about idea generation, how to find ideas for your freebie. And hopefully you got a lot of ideas from that. When you hop on, please say hi. Oh, hi Jeanette, hi Suzanne, hi, happy to see you. So we talked about, or I talked about how to get ideas for your freebie, to find some topics for it. We also talked about how important it is that your freebie is actually leading up to your offering, so that you shouldn't have one freebie and try to sell everything out from that, but actually have a freebie that leads directly up to the offering that you want to sell. And I talked about, hi Wendy, hi Luca, nice to see you. Yesterday we also talked about using keywords, finding keywords from competitors and looking in Google Trends and BuzzSumo to see the relevance of it. And try to get some ideas from that. So hopefully you have done it. If you have, please let me know. Hi, Konkuti or Kate. Hopefully you've already have a lot of ideas. If not, it's okay. I promise I will make you a cheat sheet or something for reference for these lives, but I haven't done so yet. I will get back to that. So, and the last thing that we talked about yesterday was how a freebie could be either a part of your core offering. It could be something that gives you a taste or give the user a taste of what it is that you do. Or you can think in terms of what comes before your offering. What problem does your audience needs to solve in order to be ready for your offering? So today we're going to talk more about the format of the freebie, but also about the idea validation. And I will be referring back to what I talked about in day 1. So if you haven't watched that video yet, please do. Not right now, because right now you should be watching this. But afterwards, please watch that. And I need my tea again, sorry. Okay, oh, hi Sarah, hi Natalie. Thank you for joining. Okay, so now to today. And please, if you hear me okay, let me know. Idea validation. This is actually pretty simple, but it's so powerful when you do it. It's talk to your people. Talk to your actual customers. If you have customers already, talk to them. Ask them questions. So what are you struggling with? What do you need? What are your concerns? What is keeping you from doing what you want? Of course, relevant to what you offer. A key benefit about that is, again, know, like, and trust. If you talk to your customers or just your audience, those who are already following you but not yet customers, if you actively engage with them, ask them questions, ask them what they want, they will feel that they know you, they will like you, and they will trust you because they'll feel that they are heard. And that is so powerful. Instead of just you making a freebie, sending it out there and hoping and praying that people will like you, you'll actually make a freebie that you know that your people is interested in, and they will feel heard. They will feel like you really do care. And if I know you, you do care. So why not just do that? So ask your current customers, ask your audience. You can even do surveys, and there are free software out there for doing surveys. So that could be a way to do it too. That is less personal. So I would definitely recommend you to just ask directly, either by phone or by messenger, or what feels natural to you and what is possible for you. It also helps with both the know, like, and trust that I talked about, but also going back to day one, I talked about people want a leader, but they want the leader to show them the way. But they also want that leader to want the best of their interests, or so to say. And again, the brain is basically self-centered. So if you show them that you do something that is relevant for them, they will love you for it. Okay, so that was idea validation. Now I am going to talk about the format. So basically, people want, out of a freebie, people want one out of three things. Either they want speed, they want in-depth knowledge, or they want access. And a freebie can be either one of those, but never all of them. But the great thing is, again, referring back to day one, where I talked about the buyer's journey, each of these fits into a category. And now you might be asking, well, don't I just need one freebie? You could if you do a generic, but if you want it to be really, really powerful, you'll actually have one freebie per phase of the buyer's journey. Because first, when people get to know you, they see you for the first time, probably, maybe they will, maybe they won't invest the time for something like this, which is a 5-day video bootcamp. You guys, most of you anyway, have been in my group for at least a little period of time and knows part of what I do. Whereas if I was totally new to you, you probably wouldn't know if you wanted to spend the time for it, because you don't know if it would be worth the time. So for first awareness, actually speed is the best way. Hi, Stephanie. Does this make sense? Could you please let me know, does it make sense to have a freebie per phase of the buyer's journey? Or do you think it's strange? Let me know. Okay, so for speed, there could be, and there's still more possibilities than this, but I'll give you some of the options. Completely, it makes sense. Perfect. Okay, so for awareness, you would want to focus on speed. So what could that be? You could make a resource guide. I know that Amy Porterfield, at least at one point, she had a resource guide showing all of the different tools, or you would call it a toolbox. So all of the different tools that she uses in her business. And I can't remember what they were, but it could be, for emails, I use MailChimp, but you could also do this. Or for landing pages, instead of making my own, I use ClickFunnels or whatever. So making a toolbox, a list of the tools that you use in your business or with whatever it is that you do. That way, you will save your audience a lot of time that they would have spent on researching what they should do, which email should they use, which email provider, or what funnel system, or whatever it is, if you were a marketer. So that's one. It could be a how-to video, just a short video. If you were a makeup artist, for instance, you could make a how-to video of how to put on I don't know, how to remove a pimple. Is it called pimple? I think. So you won't be able to see. Like, very short, to the point, and helps with one specific problem. It could also be a mind map, for instance, showing you all the different aspects of what your audience needs to consider, again, relevant to what you do. Because that way they can just have the mind map and say, oh, okay, this is what I need to do, and then they can start do it. Does it make sense? Or am I just rambling? It could be swipe files and scripts. Like, again, for marketers as me, there are so many out there. Swipe files saying, use this copy and just tweak it to your purpose, for instance. Perfect, Natalie, I'm glad. Hi, Pat. So if you do podcast, for instance, it could be a interview summary where people might not have the time to listen to the entire podcast. They could just get the summary. So these are at least some examples of a freebie that's focused on speed and focused on the beginning of the buyer's journey, meaning the awareness phase. You give them a quick win, and that is some of what the brain loves as well. The brain loves instant gratification. This gives them instant gratification. The next step of the buyer's journey, as I talked about in day one, is consideration. This is where the potential buyer knows a bit more about what it is that he or she wants and is researching a bit. So here you would want to educate them a bit more. So here you would want to go more into depth, which is the second step that I told you about. Either they want speed, they want in-depth knowledge, or they want access. So in-depth knowledge matches perfectly the consideration step of the buyer's journey. So here, what you would want to do, it could be a webinar, for instance, where you go very into depth with one subject. It could be a drip email course, where you have one subject and you divide it into 3, 4, 5 emails around that subject. This is as far as away you can get from instant gratification, but at this point, the potential buyer is closer to making a decision and want the in-depth knowledge. So it would make more sense. It could be what I'm doing right now, which is this bootcamp, which is 5 days of live videos. But it could also be non-live videos where you have pre-recorded them, but also giving them drip day by day. Ebooks is also more in this category. Ebooks is probably what you see the most out there. And frankly, it's not good for the awareness stage as many people use it for, because again, it's a lot to look through. Probably you have, I would guess, 10, 50, how many of ebooks have you downloaded throughout the time? I know I have downloaded more than 100. How many have I read? Not that many. because most of those ebooks that I've downloaded was from actually the awareness stage, where I didn't know them, I didn't like them, I didn't trust them, but it sounded good, so I downloaded it, and now it's just somewhere in my computer. But when people already know you and like you and trust you because they've already received value from you, they are more open to actually reading an ebook, and here it can be really, really valuable. Does it still make sense? Yeah, you have so many of those, right? And how many have you read, Natalie? I would love to know. Yeah, Suzanne. Well, that's it. I think it's more than 100 that I have. And they're just laying there. Yeah, exactly. Almost none. Another thing that you could consider is make an article as a PDF. Like if you blog a lot and you have long blog posts, which is like more than a report, something like a report, because it's very in-depth knowledge, people would want, and it's something that people would want to go back to, refer back to. You could, at the end of that, have a, hey, do you want this as a PDF? Download here, and then they could subscribe to your email newsletter by doing that. So that's also in the consideration phase and in the in-depth knowledge part of what a freebie could be like. It could also, when we're talking about blogs, be something like a content upgrade. So you write a blog post about something, and then your freebie is about that blog post, but gives you even more knowledge. So it's a freebie, or it's like an ebook, but based on the blog post, based on that specific blog post. That's also an idea. So continuous influence on your audience, yes. I guess it's not important what it is, as long as it's more than one contact. I'm not sure that I understand what you mean. So the thing is that you would want to have contact with your audience on different levels of the buyer's journey. And from the awareness stage, people are, well, the best way you can influence them is by giving them something that will give them instant gratification. When they move into the consideration stage, you should go more in depth. And then when they come to the final part of the buyer's journey, which is the decision phase, you would, hi Anna, you would go more into access, which is the last part of what people really want out of a freebie. So access could be a coupon, for instance. You see a lot of those on e-commerce sites, but a coupon could also be sign up for my newsletter and get a 10% discount of my online course, for instance. It could be a free trial. For instance, I know that ClickFunnels, if you know those, they have a 14-day trial where you get access to everything that they have, and they hope to get you hooked that way. And it works perfectly for them, at least. A lot of people probably get out again, so they use it for 2 weeks and then not afterwards. Depends on your offering. It depends. There are freebie hunters out there as well, so try it out if it seems like it could be a good fit for you. Another thing could be a insiders club. So for instance, you would, instead of just saying sign up to my newsletter, you would also say come into my closed Facebook group where you will get a lot of one-to-one help, or I will guide you through whatever it is that you do. People like everything that makes them feel special, that they're in the special group for the elite. So Insiders Club, which could just be a Facebook group or similar, that works really, really well for service-based entrepreneurs. Another thing could be a contest giveaway, saying sign up, and when I hit a number, somebody will win whatever your free offering, not your free, but your paid offering is. So if you have, for instance, an online course, somebody could win that online course, and that would be an incentive to sign up to your newsletter. And the last one that I want to talk about is, I think I mentioned it yesterday as well, but it could be a tiny bit of your core offering. If it's, again, these are different freebies, and some might be relevant for what you do and some might not. But for an online course creator, this is perfect because you already have everything. So it could just be like one tiny lesson or one module out of your online course that you give for free, because they'll get access to your knowledge and they'll feel the know, like, and trust. And it doesn't cost you anything. You've made it already. And they'll say, hey, she knows what she's doing. I want more of that. I've bought a couple of online courses just by that. So I think actually that was what I wanted to talk about. I'm just looking through my notes. Do you guys have any questions? Anybody? So basically, talk to your customers, your audience. What is it that they want? What is it that they struggle with? How can you help them? And think about how your ideas could be put into a freebie based on what your audience thinks. No questions, all clear so far. Perfect, Jeanette. Yes, and then again, back to the buyer's journey. In the perfect world, you would have one freebie for the awareness stage, one freebie for the consideration stage, and one freebie for the decision stage. Sometimes it's not possible to have for all three, but I would definitely recommend you to at least look at if it makes sense for your business. And definitely have a speed freebie to get people into your group. And then the middle part, the consideration, all of those that I mentioned there can be used for the decision phase as well. If your business doesn't match to any of the coupon or free trial, then the more in-depth would work a bit there as well. But you should definitely also have one of those speed freebies. So at least a speed and an in-depth. That is my definitely my biggest suggestion for you today. So that was it. If you have any questions, let me know and I will get back to you. Yes, in the perfect world, I should have a freebie for 3 stages for everything that I sell. Yeah, I know. It sounds like if you have a lot, it sounds bad, but I think yours might be bit different, Sarah. So maybe if you want, you can ask me a couple of questions and I'll get back to you. But yeah, you should have a freebie that is relevant to your offering, and in the perfect world, you would have for the different stages in the buyer's journey. Sorry. But this is what you would say the best case. Of course, you can have just one, but it just won't work as effectively. Yeah. So let me know if you have any questions, and that's it for now. Bye.